Hello guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the projects for this week. I have a little bag out front for you in the bins for you to pick up. So the first thing we're doing is, let me tell you, these are called, you see these? They're, oh, my fingers are green from our project today. These are called horse chestnuts. In England, they call them conkers. And in like the Midwest, they call them buckeyes, but they grow on the tree next door, on the street right here. I think it's B. And they fall, and the squirrels love these. When they fall on the ground, they actually have a green covering that's really pokey and prickly. And then the squirrels peel that off and take this and hide it in their spot and leave the little pokey wrappers laying all over the ground. Now this is food for a squirrel. It is not food for a kid or a grown-up. Do not put these in your mouth. Don't open them up and eat them. It's just squirrel food, not kid food. But they're such a fun shape and they feel really good in your hands. What I had the idea, you can paint these different colors if you want. I put a couple few in each of your bags. And I was thinking we could turn them into spiders. So you could paint this or leave it, but paint it any color you want, let it dry. And then I stuck some googly eyes in each of your bins, fun little eyes, and you can paint it. Now, spiders have more than just 2 eyes. They have lots of eyes. So you could look up kind of different spiders or decide how you want it to be. I put a few different sizes of eyes in there. So you could put eyes on there. And then I put some pipe cleaners in there. So there's a few different ways you could do this. One way is you could get a grown-up to poke a hole in there. We were able to do it at my house, just poke it with a sharp, like we had an awl, I think, that we used, or a tiny screwdriver, and poke it. And then you could put some glue on the end of this and stick it in there and do 8 legs or however many legs you want your spider to have. The other idea was you could take this and snip it in half and then twist these and do that a couple times, and then whoop, glue your spider on top with like a hot glue gun. And then you can kind of position the legs and make your spider kind of creepy crawl all over the place, sort of like that. You see? So I'm excited to see what you come up with. You don't have to make a spider. You could make another kind of bug. You could glue the couple of them together and make like a caterpillar. Because I put a couple of them. Or you could find what outside in your house. You could even make them into snowmen. You could do lots of different things. Beetles, ladybugs. But I thought you guys might come up with a good idea for that. The other fun activity we're doing is also a science experiment, but I put a couple big gloves in there. See, there's plastic gloves. And then inside, once again, there's a bunch of treasures. I put a couple in here so you can make more than one. But I went around and found lots of things that I just had here at the school. So there's these little gems, and there's these little, it's supposed to be a little plastic light bulb. I put googly eyes. Some of them have a little plastic spider, pieces of a straw, little Google eyes, all kinds of things. You could add glitter, whatever you want. I want you to take the things out of your bag. You can just put them inside your glove, maybe even some in each finger. You can add stuff at your house, something that could get wet and be okay. You could even snip pieces off of pipe cleaner and put those all in there. You could add some glitter. Well, then you're gonna pour water in here, fill it up. One thing that might work is if you hold it for your grown-up and they pour the water in, you could use a little water pitcher or your faucet and fill it nice and big, and then get your food coloring out and decide what color you want it. So if you wanted green, I would do blue and yellow and mix it together. If you wanted purple, I would do blue and red, a couple blue, a couple red mixed together. Or you could just do yellow. If you want orange, you could do red, and then you add yellow. When you put red and yellow together, it makes orange. So decide how you want this to be. Fill up your glove to about here with water, and then you're gonna twist it tight. And then I put twist tie in here. This is a really long twist tie. You could cut just a little piece off. And you're gonna twist it in there. I hope you have kid scissors at home, because you could probably do that with with your grown-ups help. You're gonna twist it. So it's gonna look, let me show you, like this. This is Jameson's. So he made his green, and you can kind of see that there's some stuff in there. And then we laid this and put it in the freezer on a tray. So it's twisted nice and tight, put it in the freezer, and then this is in the middle of being frozen. So you can see there's all kinds of little things in here. So once it's all frozen, like the next day, you can cut the rubber glove off, put it on I would do a cookie sheet or a baking tray, or if you have plastic art trays like that, put it on there. And then I want you to tell me next time we see each other how you could make that melt. So you have your parents help you snip the glove off, pull the glove off, and you're just gonna have a frozen, we call them monster hands, like a frozen monster hand. But you have those little treasures frozen inside. And how are you gonna get to those treasures? So there's a few ways you could get to those treasures. One way, how do we make ice melt? You could just leave it out and eventually the ice will melt and you'll see your treasure sitting there in the water on the tray. Another thing you could do is you could use, hold on, let me grab it. You could use a tool. Maybe you have a tool like this. You could use a spatula. You could use a butter knife or a spoon, and you can kind of chip away at it and see if you can break it down. That's one like we did for Dino Digs last year if you were in my class. You can chip away at it to get to your treasures in there. Another way to do it is water. So if you had a little cup of water and took a paintbrush or a pastry brush or a basting brush or something, you could dip it in the water and brush it on that hand. See if that helps melt it. See if it makes a difference if you use cold water or warm water. See if you could use your eyedropper and you could drop warm water onto it and see what that does to the ice. Does it make the ice melt? We'll have to try it out and see. Another thing you could try is salt. So if you take a little bit of salt and sprinkle it on there, salt helps melt ice. That's why they put salt on the roads when it snows and freezes in the winter sometimes here. They, some places use salt to help keep the roads from being icy and slippery. So I want you to try sprinkling some salt on there. The other thought I had is you could just try like a scrub brush, like just a little scrub brush. Try brushing it, see if that helps. So I want you to try different ways to make the ice melt to get to those goodies that are frozen in the monster hand and see which one works. And think about maybe why that helps melt the ice. So I hope you enjoy finding all your treasures in there. And if you see anything else in your house that you could freeze and stick in there, give it a try. See what happens to it. If it's plastic or made out of something that's not paper, it should be okay being in the water and frozen. I hope you enjoy the activities this week, and I'm looking forward to next week's activities because it's going to involve pumpkin. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.